Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to this coffee chat for the community of practice of Spider. I am Carlos Gamboa. I work in Red Conare, Costa Rica with Krista Ureña, my colleague. And today we are so grateful to present you the first event of the community of practice. And this is a collaboration with a lot of people, and we are trying to do the best we can for the community of practice of Spider. Um, we are here 8 a.m. with a coffee in hand, and I hope you already had your coffee to talk about the tuning program today. The tuning program is also part of the Spider project, and for the beginning, I'll let Krista to talk about a community of practice, what it is, and to present the invited for today. Krista.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. We are very glad to have you. We we are launched today our first coffee meeting. Um, we are very excited about our community of practice. Thank you all. And I don't know if you visit now our website on the Spider, but there you can see all the information about the project, and also this community is a new space to share more information about what is a Spider, what are our goals, and also um, what we are expect with this kind of partnership that we will talk about today. Um, I want to present you the agenda for today. We start to talk a little to talk about a little of our cup and our community, our tuning program. And later we have the presentation of Laércio Silva, who is the vice president of CERTI from Brazil, and he will talk about some insights about the path in the twinning program. Yes, this community of practice is a network for share more information about the partnerships that are involved in our task in the Spider project, like the twinning program. We also are now in the last call of the call of ideas, that is a space to present some kind of projects or ideas about investigations that we can you can send it by a link that we also have in our website. And yes, this is a space to connect with professionals, with academy, with industry, and be free to share contacts, to write in the chat. Also, we have a website specifically for the COP, for the community of practice. There you can find a space like a forum to talk about specific topics. also you have space to see these kind of events. Also, you can find some files about the project, some recorded meetings about topics like AI, also like digital transformation in general. So I invite you to 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 visit that website. Today we are talk about the twinning program. It's specifically this twinning program it's aims to creating a common action plan between the organizations that are twinned and creating new connections and sharing best practices between those organizations also, and have and create or present a service portfolio that also Laércio Silva will talk about more in a few minutes. We are very glad, as I said, to have Mr. Laércio. See, he is the vice president of CERTI, and um, I don't know if you are there, Mr. Laércio.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, thank
All
you
right.
very much.
So, thanks so much for the invitation, for this opportunity to talk in this meeting. I'll try to share my presentation here. Just a
Yes,
minute. Okay.
thank you a lot for um, accepting our invitation today, Mr. Laércio. Go ahead.
It was a great pleasure. The idea here in this presentation is to tell you a bit more about our organization and to answer some questions regarding uh, this opportunity of being part of the SPIDER EU, European Union, and the Latin American Caribbean Digital Partnership. So, just a minute. You're seeing my presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. So first of all, where we live, I'm talking from Florianópolis. Florianópolis is a city southern Brazil. It is a 1 hour flight from São Paulo, 1 hour and a half from Buenos Aires, just in a way that you can understand where we are right now. It's a very beautiful city, but it was used to be a very important tourist destination in Brazil. Is still an important tourist destination, but nowadays, the most of the income for the municipality comes from uh, technical services, from technical companies. Uh, Florianopolis in 1984, we founded this CERT Foundation, and it was founded following the model of the Fraunhofer institutions in Germany. Okay? And from the beginning, the idea it was to bridge the gap between the the knowledge from the university and the marketing, the industry. And the model of the Fraunhofer in Germany was very nice to do that here in Brazil because they are institutions that are located in the campus of the university there in Germany and bridge the gap, bridge this between the knowledge that is generated at the university and the market. So we have the same idea here. And nowadays we work on development of products, manufacturing process, entrepreneurship, sustainability. And when you look for the two words of, because we are an institution of science, technology, innovation, we give more important on innovation because we are more devoted to the end to have a product that get into the market to generate an invoice. We are a private, independent, and non-profit organization. We have around 450 employees in our group, and we have other two institutions, associated institutions. One is in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, that was dedicated for software is Instituto Sapiência. And we have also another institution that is in the Amazon forest, that's Instituto Amazônia. Okay, so what you do here in Brazil, we have workers in several cities in Brazil, even there in the Amazon region. Here in Florianópolis, where we live is an island. You see here our headquarters, and we have just a few kilometers from here. We have an incubator with 40 startups there. We have a venture capital company, and at the northern part of the island, we have a tech park called Sapiens Park that was created by CERT, and that tech park we have also another area that is dedicated for Industry 4.0. We have a lab that's also a factory for electronic equipment. This is our position. When you look at this scale of technology readiness level, the maturity of the technology, normally you have from 1 to 3, you have the basic research, it's more here for academia. And when you look at the end of the scale, when you have the commercial deployment, this is more for enterprises. What you do, we work as a hub, innovation hub, that connects the academy with the enterprises and with tech providers and with startups. So CERT is a kind of innovation hub that develops solutions that based on knowledge that are generated in the academy, but also applying the technology from enterprises to new solutions that get into the market. Okay, this is our portfolio. We develop products and systems. We have a lot of knowledge on hardware development, software, AI, content, process, consultancy and advice, scientific technology research. You don't work that much on that area. When you work on research, we do that with the universities. That is right now in the campus of the Federal University here in Santa Catarina. We work on training, technological services like calibration, dimensional measurement. We do projects of tech parks, but also of tech factory units and the incubators. We have our own incubator, and we have some programs, entrepreneurship programs, to generate new startups. And here is some examples of products that get into the market, like a physical printer, the electronic voting machine, set-top box for digital TV reception, digital TVs, and the other equipments. Okay. The set is organized in competence centers. One of them is related to the development of hardware, software, AI, real-time systems. Another one is manufacturing process. So here we develop in this area, we develop the hardware, but you have also the possibility of manufacturing the prototype in even a full product. Okay? But because we have a manufacturing plant, we also develop solutions for Industry 4.0. Have an example of this area where you can apply the solutions. We have another area that's metrology and instrumentation. For instance, if you develop a solution, a product, and you need a kind of computer visual solution, then you have an area that is capable of developing the tests for the equipment that has been developed. And in sustainable energy, we develop solutions for electrical mobility, bioeconomy, and another areas is entrepreneurship. We have multidisciplinary capacity, so we operate with different companies on IT, oil and gas, automotive, aeronautics, defense, industry, energy, health, education, green economy, and fintech. Indeed, these are very different areas, but we have a kind of common glue that connects all these areas. That is digital transformation. We are very strong on developing solutions for digital transformation. And because of that, we are able also to operate in cross innovation, because sometimes when we develop, for instance, of an IoT solution for one area, like the agribusiness industry, so the same solutions with some small modifications could be used in other industries like energy or health, etc. That's our electronic manufacturing lab. We have several infrastructure here. That's the main one because that's related to the partnership that we have through this Spider program. Uh, Here you have a manufacturing plant for electronics here. Okay, and in this electronic manufacturing plant, you can just have the chipset, and you can mount an entire product at the end of the line. We also develop solutions for Industry 4.0 to get information from these machines and to have an operation, a command center for the operation of these machines. Okay? And so that means that you can have different factory plants and operate then in a central operation center. We work also with the robotics in this area. I'm going to present you some cases, 4 or 5 cases, but one important case we have is with Petrobras. Petrobras is a very important company, oil company worldwide. Here is the oil coming from these tubes to the platform, the oil platform. And in these tubes, we have sensors. And the main worries that you have here is that when you extract the oil, not comes just the oil, but comes with the rocks and the sand and the other things that kind of tries some erosion to the tubes. So the main problem is that you don't you have to avoid to have a spill of oil here, but at the same time, if you change these tubes too shortly, you don't recuperate all the investment you have done. So what you create is a digital twin for this subsea equipment in order to predict the effect of erosion using artificial intelligence for this prediction. That's another case that's with the aeronautical system. One big customer of CERT is Embraer, and we developed to Embraer the real-time critical systems for aeronautics. Embraer wanted to have more capacity on that area, and when they visited us, they understood that to have this capacity on the electronics, software, metrology, instrumentation, quality assurance, reliability in electronics, traceability, and you have our own manufacturing, electronic manufacturing plant. So they find that you have all these multidisciplinary capacities that are able to develop the solutions for real-time critical systems for aeronautics. Another case is the first national line in Brazil of vehicle charging stations that was developed for WEG. WEG is a multinational company that was founded here in Brazil. Now it has branches in the United States, in Germany, in China, and everywhere. And we developed this line of vehicle charging station to them. Okay? That also comprises the mechanical parts, the design of the electronics, and all that's necessary to have a final product that gets into the market. Okay? Another case that is very related to the work that we are doing on the Spider, in this partnership with Spider, is a case on advanced manufacturing. This company, Aliage, they bought another company, and they wanted to make a fusion of the two production plants, and they wanted to have the sum of the capacity of each plant in just one plant. So we choose the centralized production in this 19,000 square meters, and we work on process standardization, layout optimization, cost reduction, technology analysis, Industry 4.0 concept, and then we achieve all these the fusion of the two plants, but also the double of the capacity. One very important thing when we develop solutions is funding. So SET is capable also of bring some grants to a project. One third of the project, we can provide our grant. Means that, for instance, if a project is $1 million, the company just have to pay $700,000 because around 30% of it you can bring from Embrapi. That's a Brazilian enterprise for innovation, industrial innovation. So for that kind of events, we are created for work on intelligent systems. So we work on software for intelligent systems, mechatronic systems, and manufacturing systems. So I present this and I focus more on the manufacturing because that's the area where we found the opportunity to work with Spider. So our expectation when we started to work with Spider, firstly was networking because it was a very interesting opportunity to engage with another digital hub for long-term collaboration. uh, Capacity building, because we have our own capacity on AI, but we understand that when you work in a collaboration with some important institutions abroad, you have the opportunity to also implement new technologies such as AI, 5G, Industry 4.0, and you have this knowledge sharing. You can build more capacity working with some international organizations. Joint project also is a very important opportunity because we understand that, for instance, in the European Union, we have funds for collaborative projects. So the idea is when we work on collaborative projects, you have also the opportunity to develop solutions that can be a worldwide solutions to uh, comply with some global standards. And also because of this interaction, you are more able to have some partnership for cooperative international calls. And the digital dialogue, I think that this collaboration that has the opportunity to share knowledge also helps to foster the implementation of inclusive digital transformation. For instance, I mentioned that we have an incubator with 40 startups. It's very often we help these startups, uh, provided in our capacity to fill the gap when they want sometimes to provide their solutions to a big customer. Sometimes there is part of the solution that they don't have. So we can fill that gap, for instance, on the AI or on other areas, electronics, or on other areas where they can provide the final solution to the customer with our support. Key areas of collaboration. So our partner, training partner, is the ADIH Rhineland ecosystem. Uh, it's a very interesting because it's not just ADIH Rhineland, but it's all the organizations that are there. Fraunhofer IPT, the FIR, and the RWTH, and the WZL. So it's an ecosystem, not just one organization. And they have a very complementary models of work. You have the university, and you have also the institutions that take that knowledge and transform that knowledge into a solution that gets into the market. That's a very similar approach that we do here in Florianopolis. We are also working with the university and we work to take the knowledge to the market. So have a very important approach. So they are also deeply involved in solutions that has to do with automation, machine tools, process optimization, integration of a sensor, robotic systems, and the entire manufacturing process. They wanted to have a more competitive manufacturing process. So that's something that we also work here in Brazil. But there in Germany, of course, they have a state of art facilities, such as they have a 5G industry campus in Europe. And so they have the opportunity to translate the theoretical research from WZL, from the academy, into practical industry ready solutions. So it's very important for us to work with such organization. Digital transformation and the Industry 4.0, that's because the capacity that they work there has to do a lot with this Industry 4.0. That's our main interest here. So they are capable using their knowledge in that areas to demonstrate how industrial communications networks can support these adaptive production lines and more agile factory operations. And the collaborative research and knowledge transfer. So the Fraunhofer, IPT, FEAR, and RWTH, including the WZL, uh, they are focused on cutting-edge production technology because they are uh, forced to do that because they have some governmental incentives. Set here in Brazil, we are also focused on fostering technology innovation and bridging the industry with academic research. So the the industry in Brazil, they have some difficulties to be more competitive because they have to apply more technology in their process. So, working with the Fraunhofer there in Germany, we can understand that there are some opportunities to bring here to Brazil and also to make our industry more competitive. The alignment that we understand here is that SET in Brazil helps translate laboratory breakthroughs into solutions that meet industry needs. And then you can close this innovation loop because then you have the solutions that you start in the academy and get in the market. So when you look to what Fraunhofer is doing there, we can also validate these new solutions for the Brazilian market because we have some different contests. So we can try this here, validate this solution here, and then we can have a more broad industrial network, not just with companies in Brazil, but with companies there in Germany and worldwide. In Brazil, we have many European companies. Siemens is here, uh, very other Philips is here. Many European companies is here. So when they understand that we have in Brazil the same capacity that they can have in Europe, they can use this local capacity here in Brazil. Commonalities and differences. Okay, we have commonalities that creates a robust collaborative ecosystem where ideas in advanced manufacturing and digital transformation flow between the research and industry. At the same time, we have some difference in terms of organization structure, regional focus, and funding models. And so these differences and even the commonalities enable that we can challenge different domains. When you look at the commonalities, research and innovation factors, we work in a very similar way. We're deeply involved in advanced research and technology innovation, including in the area of digital manufacturing. Industrial collaboration and technology transfer, both organizations work in a way that at the end the solutions you transfer to the industry that they could apply to be more competitive. This expertise in advanced production, both organizations try to work to have an effective contribution to Industry 4.0 with smart manufacturing, and at the end to address the foundational research and applied challenges that the industry have. The main difference that we see is that SET is a private institution. So the, the, the budget for SET comes mostly from private projects that we get from the industry and that we develop and they pay for that. When you look to the institutions, Fraunhofer and the others there, they have some money coming from governmental and industry contacts, but most of the money comes from governmental. because the German government have a very strong support for the technology-driven research initiatives. We don't have the same here in Brazil. The companies, they have to pay an amount to have a project delivered. When you look to RWTH and WZL, they also are the academies, but they have since the beginning, when you have an engineer studying there to graduate, since the beginning they are working to acquire new knowledge that they are very well focused on developing solutions to the industry. So an engineer that comes from a WZL is more prepared to work with the industry than an engineer that is having a very regular course here in Brazil. You have to, at the end of the course, you have to start to work as an internship in the industry to have a more broad knowledge. So, because of that difference, for instance, CERT is one organization that many students that when came out of the university, they wanted to work with CERT because they know that we'll be working with the industry, and then they could have a complementary knowledge of what of their study they could apply directly into the industry. Future plans for collaboration. What's interesting in this, when you talk about collaboration, you see on the left side two pictures. One is from the ADIH Rhineland ecosystem, and the one below is the CERT Foundation ecosystem. You see, even the two pictures are very similar. So when you look to the ADIH Rhineland ecosystem, we understand that it's a very strong European research and innovation framework. When you look at CERT, we are now the most complete innovation hub in Brazil because we have this complementary knowledge in several areas. What we understand that this complementary work can help us to drive advances in digital manufacturing industry 4.0 because they have a very good knowledge about that there. We have this knowledge here. Of course, we have a lot to learn from them, but we could apply here in Brazil, working on this difference and the very special aspects that we have here for the Brazilian market. We can evolve a specific project to pursue forward-looking areas on strategic directions. When you are working with them there in Germany, you understand what are the future of Industry 4.0, what can bring more competitiveness to the industry. So we can take that knowledge also here and to work together and plan to work together in strategic areas. We can also, through this knowledge, we can work on international R&D grants for collaborative projects. And also, sometimes when you work here in Brazil, you understand that some companies, they want not just our work here for Brazil, but worldwide. So it's important that to have this partnership, for instance, with the Fraunhofer institutions to work on worldwide applications and with other countries too. Recommendation best practice. So again, you have some photos here. This one is from Rhineland ecosystem, and this one is from certified ecosystems. So there are similar approaches. So I understand that what is the main recommendation when you work with spiders? You have to align your own strategic digital transformation to the priorities of the European Union and Latin American Caribbean digital dialogues. If you have this alignment of you can enhance the access to funding opportunities because using that funding, you can have a more large scale project. Uh, I think that's important also to organize workshops between the institutions to have the thematic discussions and share the best practices and the case studies and technical expertise, and also to invest in joint training programs and capacity building workshops. I When I visited there in ADH Rhineland ecosystem, I saw that they have many visitors where they share that knowledge. We do the same here in Brazil. So the pictures just want to show you that. I think that completes my presentation. And so I'm at your disposition to answer some questions if you may have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Laércio. That was a really interesting presentation. I think was very clear about your organization and also about the partnerships. Also, you mentioned it that you visited the other twinning innovation hub. Um, can you tell more about how did the approach with the how to meet in person the other hub?
Uh-huh. Well, as I said, we have some companies, European companies in Brazil. One of them that is our main customer here in Brazil is Siemens, Siemens Energy and Siemens Healthineers. And we have projects that we developed for them there in Germany. So I have scheduled a visit to that customer to discuss some project with them. And I felt that was a big opportunity to visit Aachen, where there is the ADIH Ireland, the headquarters there. And then I planned the trip to that region. And it was very, very important visit because uh, when you look when you read something regarding an institution, it's very different when you do the visit. And because this on-person meeting also provides you more interaction and more confidence on the capacity of each other. And so they were very nice to provide me the opportunity to visit all their installations and to discuss what they were doing. And now I have a full understanding of the the capacity and the perspectives of developing projects together.
Yes, sure. I think that kind of spaces in person are very different because we have a different interaction, as you said. You can also uh, see all the spaces in the organization, and also yes, it's a little different. Make more confidence the space. Also, Mr. Lerzo, I don't know if you can talk more about how how was your experience with this training program uh, today? What was the most significant part that you can talk about this training program?
Okay. Uh, it was almost a coincidence because when I started to talk with the spider people, uh, and I was invited and participate on that, uh, it was at the same time an opportunity that we have here in Brazil to build a competence center for industrial cyber physical systems. And because of that, we are looking for partnerships uh, abroad, international partnership that could also provide us more cooperation in edge AI, connectivity, information security, and application infrastructure. So we applied it to work with the Spider with this feeling, but not knowing that we are going to find a company and an institution like ADH Rhineland that has the very similar approach. So we could find very good commonalities. Uh, so what I understand is that establishing a connection with an institution very similar with the work that you do here in Brazil, I think that was the great service that was provided by Spider because it was perfect this approach that you did. I couldn't think in a better organization to be the training partner of SET. Uh, and we share a common interest and we have a similar culture of collaboration because when SET was created, it was very good coincidence because SET was created in 1984 when Professor Schneider, he was a professor of the Federal University of Santa Catarina. He went to do his doctorate in Aachen. Aachen is the where you have the headquarters of the EDH Rhineland. It's a very important coincidence. That was 40 years ago. And nowadays we are working with them again. Um, and when he went to Aachen, when he came back and he understand how the Fraunhofer were working there, he wants to do the same here. He wants to do a similar Fraunhofer here. And nowadays, we are in a partnership with the Fraunhofer institutions. So uh, we have a very similar approach, like it bridges the gap between the academy and the marketing. We have a very similar approach. We have a very similar interest on areas like Industry 4.0, on artificial intelligence, on edge computing, on 5G connectivity. So it's a perfect approach that we have right now. The areas of key collaboration, like artificial intelligence, is very important for any institution worldwide, and that's something that we are going to work with the Fraunhofer. So I'm very thankful for all the work, and I recognize the very good work that Spider has done so far.
Yes. The other day, I was talking with Laércio about this specifically, how Spider is like a bridge to make this kind of partnerships. We talk about, as you mentioned, Laércio, that um, to find uh, the common things in these organizations and make these connections are very valuable because sometimes we know that in Europe, some organizations are working on IT or 5G or that kind of things, but we don't have trust and we don't have a connection already. So Spider is like a bridge in this kind of spaces. I don't know if someone wants to ask something to Mr. Laercio, something that they something that someone want to afford also about what we discussed today.
Eventually, I can put some
Yeah.
question to. First of all, Laércio, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting to know all the CERTI ecosystem and its objectives. I personally, I work with the cluster, the ICT cluster in Portugal, and we are leading the DIH, the Connect 5. And in this context, we are pairing with Tecnocinos. It is also an innovation hub also in
Mhm.
south of Brazil. Uh, I don't know if they are located also in your state, I think. Santa Catarina, or
Yes, they are south from our state. It's very
your
close
state.
from here. In the summer, we have a lot of gaúchos, how to say that, people that
Yes.
are in Rio Grande do Sul, they are visiting us here in Florianópolis.
Okay. And we are starting this collaboration on the in this on the context of the spider, and we already have envisaged a common workshop, joining some associates of our cluster in the area of automation, sensing automation, some also crossing the industry 4.0, and also semiconductors.
All right.
That's we expect to. So we are using this opportunity of Spider to expose companies, Portuguese companies in our cluster, in our area, with also with Brazilian entities and companies, in order to promote collaboration among these more economic agents, and we are more a facilitator in this process and taking advantage of the process. So we are looking forward to collaborate with South Brazil.
Great to know. Please, next time you come to Brazil, please give us a visit, and you are open also to collaborate with your organization. Sometimes we have some companies here from Brazil that wants to get into the European market, and one good way to do that is going through Portugal. Many companies of Brazil, they are thinking about having a branch of their operation in Portugal. It's good to know that you are there. Perhaps in the near future, I will contact you to help this company, or we can share a common project with them.
Okay, thank you. And we are also we are physically located in a innovation park in the central region of Portugal. It is in the Aveiro. It is south of Oporto, and
Uh-huh.
there are some movements and some dynamic in terms of Brazilian companies that are sometimes they cross here, they speak
Uh-huh.
with us, so we will be able to collaborate with your
Yeah.
ecosystem.
Do you work on electrical mobility?
We have companies that work in this area,
Okay.
also FASEC, for example, it is in our ecosystem,
Uh-huh.
and the other more small companies that work in this area.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. I think that I have your email. If I don't, because perhaps I'll have to talk to you in a few weeks.
Yes.
Then.
Anyway, it is simple. It is luismiguel.silva at tis.pt. But through the Spider ecosystem, you can find me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
You can
I have a
also
question.
connect to the community of practice. Sorry, if you want to start another partnership, you can also use the website, the community of practice, and chat over there if you want. Sorry, Christian, go ahead. That's your question.
Thank you, Carlos. Hi, Laércio. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was a pleasure to listen to this initiative finally materializing in this level of collaboration. So congratulations on that, first of all. I suppose as I work in CEDIA in Ecuador, which is a national research and education network. So I suppose my question is, how is the dynamic of collaboration? You mentioned at the beginning of the presentation your collaboration with Academy, but I would like to know a little bit more if what is the nature or dynamic of collaboration with, for instance, similar institutions as CEDIA, such as the Rede Nacional de Pesquisa, RNP, or other institutions like this, in terms of finding services such as advanced connectivity, or you mentioned also that you are trying to find different fundings in research and development, maybe in what is the nature or dynamic of collaboration with these kind of institutions?
Mhm. Well, we have a very important experience on working with collaboration with some European institutions. Because, for instance, when you look up to the United States, you don't have a central institution that promotes a collaboration for international projects. You have to do that just from one university with another university. Just a moment. Sorry for that. But with the European Union, they have some calls. What you do, we apply for that calls. Here in Brazil, we have also the Fraunhofer institution here in Brazil. And they make a bridge with other Fraunhofer institutions in Europe. And there are also, we are EMBRAP unit. So EMBRAP is the one organization that works abroad, trying to find some institutions that also foster innovation there. For instance, you have in Sweden, you have a Vinnova. And so EMBRAP from Brazil talk with Vinnova in Sweden to promote a call, a collaborative call. And then in that case, the company or institution in Sweden is funded by the Vinnova. And the company and institution here in Brazil is funded by EMBRAP. We have a similar approach with Israel. We have the Innovation Authority of Israel. So EMBRAP and the Authority Innovation of Israel, they have some meetings and they agree to have a joint call. And this joint call, the Israeli company or institution will be funded by the Israeli Innovation Authority, and in Brazil will be funded by the EMBRAP unit. So it's case by case. We don't have a very established way of doing that. Another thing that you do is we have, as I said, we have some European companies that are here in Brazil. So through them, we connect where their headquarters in Germany or other European countries to establish this collaborative project. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. Partially, I think one of my other questions is if you have some kind of collaboration with the national research and education networks such as RNP, Rede Nacional de Pesquisa, for instance, in Brazil.
Yes,
because mainly this question goes to the direction of Spider tries to potentialize the connectivity of the Bella program. So I'm interested if you have some initiatives or efforts in that direction of connecting with these capacities.
Okay, I know very well the RNP, but we don't use that much, and I explain that. We are a private organization. So when you work on a project, we have to have a funding for that project. We don't work on a project if you don't have a funding. Because we are not linked to the government, or we are not linked to any other private company. So we are very independent. Okay? So the way that we live is like any other company, because we have to talk to companies to understand what are their challenges and to see how we can help them to solve their problems. That's the way that we live. So when you talk a company and the company has a problem, like the Petrobras company, they wanted to have a digital twin to understand, to predict the erosion, the effects of erosion in their tubes, to have to avoid the spill of oil at the sea, but at the same time to avoid also change the tubes very early in order to recuperate all the investment that they have done. So they have a problem. So most of the time when they talk to a company is to solve that problem, to solve that challenge. So, and we don't work just in a cooperative project just to generate knowledge most of the time. We work to solve a problem of the company, to solve a challenge. I answer
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Obrigado.
de nada.
Thank you so much, both for the intervention. I don't know if someone else has something to ask for Mr. Laércio, something to want to say about the presentation. If not, I think we are finishing. Thank you so much again, Mr. Laércio, for accepting this invitation. We are very glad to have you here today. We also are in the community of practice. If someone wants to connect with Mr. Laércio or with someone else that are in the community of practice, this space is yours. Use it as you want to share more information about this kind of topics, this kind of also other calls in other projects. And we expect to have more spaces like this in these months. So I invite you to join us in the future. And thank you so much for being here today. Have a very nice day, afternoon, morning, wherever
Thank you.
you are.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the invitation. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.